Oh, it's tough. There's a lot of things I had to deal with. Change of court was tough. Very different atmosphere today. It's quite windy out there as well. Obviously, yesterday the conditions were pretty heavy, very humid. Today was very windy on the court. The ball was flying through the air a bit more, and I just had to try and stay calm. I thought I was playing well enough to win the match, but I knew Nadal was going to come at me, and there's a few sort of ups and downs, even though it was a very short time we were on the court. But I managed to come through in the end. I think once the momentum, even though I was 2 sets, I would have much preferred to have been in my position than his. The momentum was kind of with him a little bit, in the third set, and he got a held serve easy the first couple of games, and I don't think either of us dropped a point, maybe the first couple of service games. So, I just had to try and stay aggressive, stay focused, and I knew because of the wind from the far side of the court, from where we came out, it was much easier to return from that end, and I knew I was going to have some chances, so I just had to try and stay focused on that.
Andy, could you talk a bit about the swings of emotion and I guess your thought process after that second game of the fourth set, if there were?
Obviously had a lot of chances to break, but there was only one point where I really had, there was maybe a couple. I don't know how many break points I had, 6 or 7, but he only missed one first serve in those points. So, even though I had break chances, he played well on them. I missed a couple of shots that I maybe shouldn't have. But I thought that even though I got broken the following game, I still kept my emotions in check, and knew I was going to have chances to get back in the match, and obviously did.
Andy, just I don't know if it was asked already or not, but did it make you more nervous or much more at ease having to sleep on the match basically last night, being up 2-0?
I slept absolutely fine yesterday. I didn't feel nervous. Going out into the match, I was in a good position. It was just, like I said earlier, it was very different to yesterday, with a completely different court, different conditions, and that's, I think, the first time, maybe second time since I've been on the tour when I've actually had to come back the following day, so that was tough for me.
And the second question, the crowd was a little bit more Nadal in the beginning. I guess they didn't want to see a 15-minute match coming out here. Did that do anything for you? Did that fire you up at least when the crowd being against you and then for you in the fourth set?
No, it's if I was a spectator today, I would have rather watched more tennis as well. So you kind of understand why they do it, but the atmosphere was still awesome. If there was, they know tennis here. When there was good points, they applauded for both. Just obviously they wanted to see more tennis, which was fine by me. But by the end of the match, I thought it was pretty even, and obviously finished off well.
Well, Andy, how would you describe how the pressures and the attention in Britain have prepared you for the toughest of situations, playing the likes of Nadal and Federer and being in your first Slam final?
For me, that didn't really have much to do with it. The things that prepared me for these situations was, when I went over to train in Spain when I was 15, and sort of, for me, it's much tougher being away from my family for, a long time, rather than, whether people expect me to win slams or winning Wimbledon. That was much tougher for me, and I did that from a young age. And they're the, when you put in the work off the court, I've said this many times in press conferences, when you go in to matches and physically you put the work in and you've worked really hard, you don't have any excuses when you get on the court. You just think about tennis. And in the past, I maybe did think about pressure because I hadn't worked as hard as maybe I should have, but now that's not the case.
Liz?
With that in mind, Andy, with all the work that you put in, you were just tracking balls left and right today. Can you talk about match point and what your mindset was going up to that drop shot?
Well, I mean, it was probably maybe only the second drop shot he'd hit in the match, you know, and I was quite a long way behind the baseline, but, you know, on these courts, you're going to get a chance to get to the ball unless you hit a great drop shot, because it's obviously bounces really high, and yeah, I just had to keep my head down, watch the ball, and that was that. But yeah, I didn't feel particularly nervous, just because I felt like I was hitting the ball well, and you know, I was in a great position.
Eleanor?
Just talk about playing Roger Andrews, because you've got a winning record against him. Does that give you a bit more confidence going into tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I've played well against him in the past. I mean, I think a slam final is different to the matches I've played against him before. You know, he's obviously won he's won, you know, over 30 matches in a row here. You know, so he's obviously going to be feeling confident going in. He's got loads of experience in these situations, and it's something new for me. So I know I'm going to have to play great to have a chance of winning, but you know, I've played well the last couple of weeks.
Cindy?
Andy, do you have another level to rise to for Roger as well as you've played lately? And secondly, have you ever heard of Brigadoon?
No, it's to the second one.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I played well enough to beat the #1 player in the world over 2 days. You know, and I've beaten Roger in the past. I think it's more, I have the tennis to compete with those guys. I just have to make sure I do it for, you know, 3 out of 5 sets rather than for, you know, a set and a half, 2 sets.
Bonnie?
Andy, congratulations.
Thank you.
We all know how proud you are of your biceps now, but I wondered if you'd talk about mental muscle and whether your stronger mentality is just a result of on-court results or whether there's something else that you've been doing off the court to try to improve that.
Well, like I said, I started working with a new team at the end of last year, and started to train physically way harder. You know, and the pain that you feel off the court is, you know, when you're running around the track is much worse than anything you feel on the tennis court. And you know, I go on the court now without feeling like I have anything to worry about, because I've worked hard and you know, practiced hard and given myself the best opportunity to play well, and all I've got to do is play tennis, which is one of the few things that I'm good at.
So the mentality follows physical strength. Is that what you're saying? Not
Yeah. Yeah, I think when you go on the court and you haven't put in the work off it, and you haven't, you know, practiced as hard as you should have done, you know, there's a lot of things you can find excuses for why you're not playing well, or you know, why you're getting tired and stuff. And I think that, you know, maybe in the past that was the case, but now I've been traveling with a fitness trainer every week this year, and been working physically hard off the court, and it's taken 7 or 8 months, but it's paying off.